You're listening to Eat, Play, Sex with Dr. Cat, the place to up-level that sexy life of yours, with expert talk on sex, love, and nutrition.
Okay, so the first one, how can I smoke before sex without falling asleep?
Great question.
Valid.
Find a strain that doesn't make you fall asleep. Legitimately, like that's if you're smoking something that makes you fall asleep, that's not the one to smoke before sex. So find one that doesn't do that.
Yeah. And probably the amounts too, right? I can imagine. Yeah, that would make it
Less
different.
is more. You want for sexy strains, you want a THC content of between 15 and 20%, no higher than that. You see these strains in dispensaries that are like 25, 30% THC. That is way more than you need. 15, 20% max.
You are so detailed with your it's so brilliant. I can imagine. I can literally hear everyone's notebooks just scrambling and scrawling, and they're like, "Fuck, my pen's not working. I need to get another pen." Because this is so good. Like this shit, I didn't know any of this. Like, no wonder I've been having bad experiences.
Oh, girl, I got you. Anytime. I will help Sherpa you.
All right, maybe I will readdress my relationship with it with this medicine. Yeah. Okay, second question. Can cannabis distort the desire for a partner? Like it wouldn't be as good without it.
Oh, no. That would be like saying, like, if you're listening to music during sex, is it not as good without the music? Like, it's different, but it's not gonna suddenly like, oh, I can only have sex with my partner when I'm stoned. Like, if that's the case, you have completely bigger issues than the cannabis. That's just an indicator light on your dashboard. So no, cannabis isn't gonna
Ooh.
like radically change your experience enough that it would make that much of a difference.
So that's good because I thought in my head I was thinking, oh, like when you drink a lot of alcohol and you're at the bar and like everybody looks attractive and so you try to go home with anybody
Right.
versus if you weren't under the influence of alcohol, you wouldn't have dated any of those people or taken any of them home.
I find that cannabis allows you to retain your discernment in a way that alcohol does not. Except maybe when it comes to food. With food, you're just like, everything tastes awesome.
Okay,
So
so
I
no
want all of it in
discernment.
my mouth.
Yeah,
But
no discernment with food. Got it.
not as much discernment, I suspect, as with humans. But like, yeah, no, actually find that my discernment is somewhat heightened with cannabis, as well as
Ah,
my ability to detect and manipulate energy through like my Reiki practice.
what do you mean? Expand that.
Yeah, so I'm a Reiki master and I've gotten really energetically sensitive in the last few years. And I find that when I'm using cannabis, especially intentionally as like a plant ally, I am able to discern energy more readily than I am without it. And I feel like it is easier to actually tangibly feel where the energy is flowing and to be able to like increase and decrease and move it around
So
in a different
basically,
way.
Ashley is magical as fuck. Got it.
Check
Yes, her pussy's
which
magical. Her Reiki's magical. Got it.
yeah, Reiki hand jobs will change your life.
Actually, that's true. In tantric practice, yes, yes. Best,
Right?
best ever. Yep. All right, question 3. My girl always has to smoke before we have sex, and I feel less connected with her. I don't want to take something away that she enjoys, but I don't feel as close. So I guess
Okay.
he's asking for advice.
So that's valid. Like if you're feeling disconnected from your partner during sex, that's a thing that you want to talk to them about and be like, hey, I'm noticing. That's a great way to start any conversation. I'm
Mhm.
noticing that I'm feeling less connected with you. Are there ways that we can find to meet in the middle? Like maybe could you smoke slightly less or could you use a product that doesn't cause like intoxication but still does the things that you want it to do, like a topical?
Mm.
Is there room for negotiation here so that we both feel connected and fulfilled? Because if one person's feeling disconnected, like that's not a great sexual experience.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think about because there can be that experience where somebody takes too much and they're not really there.
Hmm.
I remember having a boyfriend years ago and he would smoke on a regular basis and it was for his anxiety, but I also felt like he wasn't as present with me to be
Mhm.
able to be connected and attuned with me the way
Yeah,
that I needed. And so is that can I guess that can be a byproduct, like it can make you really present or it can make you
for sure
disconnected?
it can make you disconnected. Like the strains or products that make you just want to like zone out and watch TV for hours, like those are probably not the best for feeling connected with your partner. And so noticing that as well when you're doing your field research with masturbation, like notice if you feel like connected with yourself
Mm.
and able to, kind of imagine being connected with your partner, or if you feel like I am just totally zonked and I don't want to do anything, including masturbate right now. So this is probably not the one I want to choose.
Yeah, yeah, probably not. Write that in your sex journal. Okay, last question. Coming to climax while high is more difficult sometimes. How can I drop back in?
Interesting. Okay. So if you're noticing that coming to climax is difficult, one, let go of the goal to climax because the harder you try, the more elusive it becomes, typically. So just focus on doing what feels good and don't feel like you have to do it within a certain time. Like I just had this experience with my partner where I was pulling out my vibrator at the end of sex to like get myself off one last time before we finished. And vibrators are a very fast way to get me off. Fingers are they take longer, but it feels 5 times better than with a
Mm,
vibrator. And I was telling myself like, "Oh, he's not going to want to like take the time to play with my pussy long enough for me to come with his fingers. So I'm just going to like shortcut to the vibrator because that way it's more efficient." And so like give yourself permission to take your time and like follow the pleasure. Like, yeah, it may delay your ability to climax, but like go with it and just follow the pleasure and don't feel like you have to come quickly or within a certain time window, otherwise your partner's going to get bored. Like ostensibly they should be there for you and for your pleasure, and as long as it takes.
yeah, yeah. And I can imagine this coming back to the question that we were talking about a moment ago. If it takes, if it can too much can disconnect you.
Sure.
Right. So even thinking of perhaps sensual things that can bring you back, like smells in the air or, specific touch or anchoring yourself onto something
Yes.
that's in your body.
Yeah, getting grounded and asking your partner for help, being like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
feeling disconnected from my body right now. Can you help me? Can you put on some music? Can you bring some essential oils? Can you rub my body in a way that helps me like get more present?" And then try again.
Lovers, thank you again for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and head over to eatplaysex.com to connect with me and grab my sexy guides. Because my goal here is to get you to eat, play, and sex better so you can improve your sex life, which will improve every aspect of your life. Until next time, keep it sexy.